Hi, good morning. I'm Kristen Zammit. You think I would remember who I am, but I need the notes. I have been working with children since I was a teenager. My actual first job was Bingo the Clown. So I made balloon animals for kids and did birthday parties. Kids have just always been my thing. I've been in education for 20 years, Dayspring since 2010. I've taught preschool and first grade and fifth grade, and now I'm playing the director role over at Little Scholars. My husband and I have been married for almost 30 years, and we have 5 children, 4 boys and 1 girl, and the ages range from 28 to 8, so kind of a big difference with that. Surprises, So we're here today to talk about currency. Now, currency is kind of like a term that I coined. This is really hard for me to stand still. Many years ago, when my oldest Anthony was young, and I remember talking to my mom, I just have to figure out what his currency is, and it's just kind of stuck with me ever since. Currency as we know it, it's money, right? Every country uses something different, and it has a value, and that value is used to then trade for whether it's goods or services. Well, children's currency looks a little different, right? They might just want you to have some extra attention. They might want to have that dessert. My littlest one, or my 8-year-old, she will clean her plate with all of her veggies, all of her dinner, if she could just have that dessert. Even though she's been sitting there for an hour, she doesn't care. She wants the cupcake. That's it. So it's just as valuable to us as our paychecks. So let's think for a second about motivating our children. What are some reasons that we would want to motivate them? Anybody? You guys can call out. Think of your own children at home. Homework. Who struggles with getting their littles to do homework at home? Anything else?
I don't think we can keep them at dayspring.
What? You what?
We wouldn't keep them.
If you didn't have to do homework. Well,
No, if we had a struggle.
you had true. Well, some littles don't like to do homework. I know some families that really struggle with that. I know for me, one of the biggest things we see, we want to motivate those positive behaviors, those attitudes, and those skills that they're able to do. Ultimately, we want our children to be respectful, responsible human beings that then grow up to be respectful and responsible adults. And I think that one of the things that we forget is that ultimately this is that adult's foundation. And one of the really cool things about having children that range from 8 to 28 is that I get to see that now. When I was in the middle of it, thinking, what am I doing? Am I doing this right? Am I doing it wrong? Because we always think that we're doing something wrong. We probably are, but we fix it, right? You know better, you do better. But now I get to see my adult children are 28, 24, and almost 20, and they're respectful, responsible human beings, working in police academy, and they have their jobs, and they're good humans that I love to be able to talk to. So it's really cool for me to be able to see that. And I think because of that, I feel a whole lot more confident being able to have these conversations because I can see what that consistency does. And that wasn't on the slide, sorry. So what is a child's currency? What motivates them? I think one of the most important thing is your relationship with your child. Knowing who they are, right? Knowing their likes, knowing their dislikes, what their wants and what their needs are. And it's important to remember that always changes, with ages and stages. You go from, I tried to find the Paw Patrol, but I couldn't find a picture. So, they go from Paw Patrol to Minecraft and Disney Princess to wearing their own makeup, to wanting to be at home with their family, to wanting to go hang out with their friends. So it's always going to look a little bit different. You don't want it, it's not a one size fits all from the time that you bring them home to the time that you send them off to college. Oh, and the little clip down there about currency is that I want you to think about your own job. Let's say you've been working somewhere for the last 10 years and all of a sudden they decided they're going to pay you a monopoly money. Would you stay? Probably not. But currency changes. My husband actually, after being with the same company for almost 28 years, starts a new job today in a totally new industry. And he's doing it not because of the money, but because It's about his life at home and wanting more time with the kids and not wanting to be in the car as much. So that currency piece, what's important to him, has changed over time, just like it will with your kids. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the love languages by Dr. Chapman. The 5 of them are words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And what that looks like, with adults, because we all have that, like I would much rather have my husband come home to find like my laundry done and the dishes done and my floors mopped and like a pretty bracelet on the counter. Like, do my laundry and I'll be happy. So with our kids, one of the biggest ones is those words of affirmation. And that doesn't just mean like, oh, good job, great job, great job, great job. But why? Why did they do a great job? How did they do a great job? You want to be specific. Like you want to be able to say to them like, wow, that's amazing that you got all of your homework done before I even started dinner. I'm so proud of you. So give them those specifics of why you feel proud, because one thing that I found, like you might say good job, but they might have just whacked their brother on the back as they walked by him, and you totally missed it, but you're like, good job, got away with it. So you just want to keep it specific so that they know what you're talking about. Same thing with us as adults, and think of if your boss just walked in and said, hey, good job. What did I do? That's usually I don't know what I did a good job for. Be specific, let me know. So acts of service, helping them with a chore. Like I'll talk a little more about chore charts in a little while, but like maybe your goal is that you don't want to have to do the dishes, so you can earn mommy doing your dishes for the rest of the week. Like it's going to look different for everybody, because what's important to everybody is just a little bit different. And it goes back to having that relationship with your child and knowing who they are and knowing what they like, because if they don't like Paw Patrol, they're not going to care whether or not they miss watching TV. They're still playing their video game, or they're still playing with their Legos. It doesn't matter. So small gifts, quality time, that's another thing that I'll talk about later, so I'm going to try to stay on task. Quality time, like with parents or grandparents, is huge for kids. And they're not just going to come right up and tell you, hey, I need quality time with you. Can we spend like an hour together later on? And it's especially hard when they have siblings, because once they have siblings, they're sharing you all the time. So it's important for them to have that one-on-one time. And then, of course, you have the hugs and holding hands and high fives. So this is a game that I created, just Would You Rather. So it's kind of like a fun way to get to know your child, or get to know anybody. Would you rather watch your favorite show, or would you rather us have ice cream? Like, just play it as a game first, and then change it up. If they say ice cream 10 times, chances are ice cream's a good motivator for them. But I will tell you, like things like go to the park, go for a walk or a bike ride, have breakfast for dinner. Like there's this list here, and I was gonna have a printout, but then I was like, well, people take pictures of stuff. I don't know. I'm old school, but okay, we can put it online too. That's great. But little things, like one of the biggest things my kids love to do, because I had the 4 boys before Kennedy came along, and their biggest thing was like, you can pick out the dessert for this week. And when we have to go to the grocery store, because nobody likes to go to the grocery store, your kids say, yeah, let's go grocery shopping. No, I never did. And if they did, you're lucky. But they got to pick out something, so that kind of took away the black cloud of having to go to the grocery store. Going to the park, again, 4 boys, all 4 ages apart, huge, baseball, soccer, it didn't matter. They wanted a ball in their hands. And if I said I would take them to the park, I could ask them to pretty much do anything. It was lovely. That's what worked for them. Then when they get teenagers, they like to earn some money. So here is way too much for you to have to read, but it's give you a quick synopsis. But the goal is to, when you have a chart, and this started way back when my oldest was like 2 or 3, and the Hercules computer game came out, and he really wanted to play it. That's all he wanted to do. And I like to sit and read, because, that's what I do. And it became a struggle. And finally, I'm just like, you know what? You need to be able to read for X amount of minutes so you can have X amount of computer time. And then that kind of took that struggle piece away, because it wasn't me just saying, no, did you earn it? Do you have your points? Oh, you earned 5 points? Great, you can go play for 5 minutes. You're good. And then you can't kind of give leeway to that, right? So You want to earn the points for things that you struggle the most with them. So if it's getting homework done, or if it's having, doing your reading log, or keeping your room clean, clearing your space, cleaning up the dishes, doing the dishes. It depends on their age and what they're doing. I see parents in here that have ages all over. So oh, hi. I keep seeing new people out here, so it's like, okay, sorry, squirrel. So what they're interested in is their currency. So some ways to earn that currency is that, you did your homework. And this can be as simple or as fancy as you want. Okay, you did your homework, that's worth 10 points, right? You did your homework and I didn't have to ask you, that's worth 10 points in bonus, right? Because what you're trying to get them to do eventually is to just do their homework without you having to ask them, right? So it's always like, here's your baseline, here's your bonus. And they'll work for it. It's crazy how simple it can be. You did your morning routine, X points, you did it without asking, X plus bonus, and so on. So with chores and with reading X amount of minutes gives you X amount of points. And that's all determined based on your struggle and what you want them to do and how many points you want them to earn. And then you decide what they earn has an equivalent value, just like if you were to go to the store and purchase something yourself, you need to have a certain amount with you. You create a list of things that they can buy with their points, whether it's TV time, tablet time, games, trips, ice cream, whatever that they would rather, right, from that game. Whatever it is you know about them. If it doesn't work for them, don't even bother adding it to the list. You want to keep it reasonable because you don't want your whole life to be about a chart, right? You just keep it simple. A couple of goals that you're working on, or skills that you're working on, or attitudes that you're working on at one time. But then you have a lot of ways for them, to earn that. When I say a lot, anything that's related to what it is you're wanting them to learn. And then I just kind of put I got a little busy, kind of fun with my little pictures, but it's been a long time since I made a PowerPoint, sorry. So let's think for a second, what are some, and I think, I jumped the gun. What are some things that you struggle the most with your child, that you feel like, there's that battle? Is it getting up and out of the house in the morning? Is it getting in the car? Is it getting into school? Is it, think about what is your struggle? And then that's going to be your focus. And then you take that on one side of the balance, and on the other side of the balance, you put, these are the things that you get to do if you do that. Now, if they're like, Slurpees all the way, like there was one little girl a couple of years ago, like Slurpee Fridays, that was her thing. If that's her thing, then you equate it to that behavior of getting out of the house in the morning, right? If we get our little points or our tallies or our stickers or however you want to do that, so many times we get to go get that Slurpee on Friday on the way home, right? But don't stop on Wednesday to get a Slurpee, because then you just defeated the whole purpose of what you're trying to get them to earn. Chores. Now, chores look different, right? They look different for different ages and abilities. You may have to follow them around and do things after them, but that's okay, right? It's important for them to do it. They need to learn that responsibility. The chore charts, like I mentioned before, I was going to print some up and look some up, but I Googled chore charts, and oh my goodness, I mean, you have you have the simple dry erase board, and then you have the dry erase board with the washi tapes and all the charts and the pictures and the magnets and the stickers, and I was just like, whoa, that's a lot. I had a little laminated sheet, like I had my 4 things on there when they were little that they picked and they tallied their things. Now I have a chore chart that's literally like a Google spreadsheet printout, and it lists all the chores and it lists what they're worth, and they mark it themselves. They mark every day they do it. They mark it, and then at the end of the week, they go across and they add it up, and then at the end of the week, they can receive their paycheck. Now, teenagers, teenagers, it's going to look different for different ages, but this is what works for this. This is what drives them to want to get it done. But there are some stipulations, right? You have to have your room clean if you're going to collect a paycheck. You have to have done the daily chores in order to collect the paycheck. You have to add your paycheck correctly in order to correct your paycheck. So there's some, and those stipulations can change for everybody. Those are the things that I needed to work on, for my kids. And I added this little tidbit in here, and I hemmed and hawed and went back and forth, like, should I say it, should I not? But I'm going to say it. Doing several extracurricular activities at the same time, but not contributing in any way, sends that message that they can do whatever they want, without having to have any responsibilities. And, I know that might sound a little harsh because we all want our kids to do all of these things and have fun, and then that's awesome. Of course we do. But we also have to teach them responsibility, right? Because we have our goal, we're building that foundation of that respectful and responsible adult human being eventually. So that's all I have to say about that. All right, so some common mistakes. Threatening to take away something that they've already earned, or no, sorry, let me back up. Something that you know that you're not going to take away. One thing that I hear all the time is, vacations, our families go on vacations. If you don't behave today, you're not going to go on that Disney, you're not going to Disney with us this weekend. You're not going to leave them home when you have plans to go to Disney. Let's say we've all spent the money, you've spent all the planning, you're doing your thing, you're not going to not take them. They know that. They know that. And if it's not something that you are able to follow through with, don't say it. Because they know. It breaks that trust. Because you're essentially saying, this is what I'm saying, but this is what I'm doing. They don't line up, right? And we need to be that adult in their life that they can trust to say what we mean and mean what we say, so that then we can say what we mean and mean what we say, and they can trust us when they're teenagers and then adults later on. And I know I will tell later, but I just like to talk. I said, so say what you mean and mean what you say. That's something else I think was probably said to me when I was growing up a lot, and I have said it to every one of my children, and I have said it to probably thousands of children at the school. And, I think of a story of when I was, at the school, and we have, I don't know, those of you that know Little Scholars, like the bathrooms aren't in the classroom, they're outside towards the lobby, and my office is just outside there, and I heard someone had gone into the bathroom and didn't want to wash their hands. We have to wash our hands. Sorry, it's just something that we have to do. And the teacher was like, we have to go, you have a whole class waiting, we need to go. So I walked out and I said, I'll wait with her, that's fine, you can take the class back and we'll wait until she washes her hands. Well, she was so mad, stomped the feet, sitting up there, I want to wash my hands, I'm not going to wash my hands. Well, we're not leaving the bathroom until you wash your hands. Now I follow that up with, because we need to keep you safe, right? We have to wash our hands, it's part of the process. We use the bathroom, we wash our hands, we keep ourselves clean. I was in there for an hour and 10 minutes. No lie, hand to God. Hour and 10 minutes. And this was a few years back. But I kept saying, I told you I needed you to wash your hands, and I will stay here until you wash your hands. I did. I stayed there. So after an hour, it's a long time when you're having these conversations. But it had to be done, because I say what I mean and I mean what I say. And there's no negotiation when it comes to certain things, right? Like, you have to wash your hands. You just used the restroom and you're going back to a class with, 19 other children. So she washed her hands. She didn't even say anything. She just kind of, I was like, I'm so happy you decided to wash your hands. Yay. So, not impressed she was with me. So we walked back to the class. Not the next day. It was the following day, which was a Friday. And I heard them in the bathroom, and I heard this one, I'm not gonna wash my hands. I didn't even wait. I just walked right out there and I said, that's okay. I can stay here and wait with her while your friends, go back to class. She stepped right up on the stool, washed her hands, and went back to class. Because she knew, I'll stay here for an hour and 10 minutes and you're gonna miss out on everything that you're doing. Now, is it always going to be an hour and 10 minutes? No, that was an extreme example. But it's to show you that you have to do the follow through. You have to say what you mean and mean what you say. And if you walk away with anything today, it's say what you mean and mean what you say, and know your child and have that relationship with them. So let's move on. Okay. So another thing, if they earn the points, they keep the points. I think one of my biggest pet peeves that I've seen is when someone earns a sticker and they get the sticker taken away. No, they earn the sticker, right? If you're at work and you show up on time Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday you're 15 minutes late and your boss said, hey, you're 15 minutes late, I'm gonna dock you 15 minutes for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. What would your response be? Like, no, I earned it. That was mine, right? So if they earn something, they keep something. Does that mean they don't have consequences? No. You still have consequences, but it's all in the approach of what that looks like. So if they don't, if they don't earn the points, they don't earn the points. I have fines, true story, because like one of my older ones, like the name calling, when I had my 2 younger boys, the name calling was just ridiculous. Like no one would think that they would be so vicious to one another, but it had to get to the point where I'd be like, you can earn all your money for your chores because you have to do your chores, but I'm going to start fining you. Every time I hear you call them a name, it's going to cost you this much. You use your hands, it's going to cost you double that. Keep your hands off and don't call names. That was my issue. So that's what I had to work on. And it might look different for you. It might just be that, they're not picking up their Legos from the living room floor. And that's what you didn't pick your Legos up, so I have to fine you. Whatever works for you. There's no steadfast wrong or right. It's just, have them earn with the things that you're struggling with, and then buy the things that they really find important. And, I laugh at myself because I was, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, not all the time. It's hard all the time, right? Every day it's hard to be a parent. It's hard to be a good parent. It's hard to say no. But sometimes you have to say no. And even if, we don't want to. And I know, as a working parent, you're gone all day. You're so excited to see them. You don't want to say no. You don't want to be sad. You don't want to be the bad guy, but you're not. You're being the parent, and you're setting that foundation for them to know that sometimes, things don't go our way, and that's okay. But we need to have that follow through. I forgot about that. So it's not only our job to teach them that we're going to say no, but we have to tell them no, but we have to teach them the coping skills to be able to handle being said no to. Because as adults, we all know that life says no sometimes. And as adults, we need to know how to be able to cope with that. And it's hard, but now is the time to learn, because I promise you, it's much easier, even though it's hard, but it's easier when they're, you're starting at that 2, 3, 4, rather than all of a sudden you look at them and they're 12, 13, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, they're my size, and they're just as argumentative as before, and they're not listening to me. It's really, I talk with a lot of friends that struggle, and a lot of it started just with not setting those foundations when they were younger. And again, so respect comes from trust, right? Saying what you mean and meaning what you say will build that trust. And as wonderful as it is when they're little, it's even more valuable when they are those teenagers and adults, because it's hard. You think it's hard to keep them pinned into a place. Like, just wait till they're like, I got the keys, here I go. Like, wow. It's hard. Never gets easier. Sorry for the bump talk. So now finally, my final slide is that, I played that Would You Rather game with the littles last week, and I would just ask random questions, and how you ask them, change it up. You have your little piles of, here are some, foodies. My littlest one's a foodie. Everything's about the food. Or going somewhere, or maybe, just that alone time, like having that time, like, hey, if you want to earn us sitting together, we'll read that story, just me and you. That's it. Maybe we can go outside and read it. Maybe we can, whatever it is, that quality time. Every time I asked that question, it didn't matter whether I was saying, hey, do you want, an ice cream cone, or did you want to go outside and play with Dad? Do you want to have, did you want to make slime, or did you want to go read a book with Mom? The vast majority all answered that was the time piece with the parents. We're all so busy and we're all doing things, they just want that time and they want to be seen, right? I had one little guy whose answer was, every time he wanted to watch the Cat in the Hat movie. That was his thing. It didn't matter what I asked him. It's Cat in the Hat movie. And I was talking to, Mom about it after, and she's like, he's only seen it once. I'm like, well, it sounds like it's an important thing to him because he wants to see it again, because he'll do whatever he wants to do for it. So what do you think that your child's going to say? Like, if you think about who they are and what they do and what they play with and what you're struggling with, what do you think is going to work for them? And you're all going to have different answers, so there's no right or wrong. Because all your kids are different, very different. Yeah, thank you. So, first, does anyone have any questions? concerns. This is my first time doing something up here where I haven't just been like, ask me a question. So ask me something.
I have a question.
Okay.
What about the kid who just doesn't care about earning things or getting special time? What about that kid? What strategies do you have?
My guess would be that they're probably already getting all of those things that he or she doesn't care about earning, that they're already getting all of those needs met without earning them. So I would say either start pulling things back and start limiting things, because like there's always going to be something. There's something that is meaningful to them. I think my teenager, Timmy, I'm gonna call you out. Okay. So when we're packing, because we're going away next week, and Sunday I'm like, I want you to pack your bag. You've got a busy week, school, something to do, school, something to do. I want you to pack your bag. Oh, I don't want to pack my bag. Pack your bag. I don't want to have to pack my bag. Pack your bag. And finally I'm just like, you know what? Okay, but you're not touching the video game until you've packed your bag. Oh, why? That's okay. I don't want to pack. You don't have to pack. I can do it on Friday. Yep. But you're not playing video games until after you pack. And then he was so mad. Why are you being so stubborn? Oh, back at you. You're being stubborn too. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. That's fine. Don't do it now. But you're not getting what it is you want, what he holds highly valuable, his video game time, until that's done. And then I say, but because I say what I mean and I mean what I say, guess what he was doing 5 minutes later with a big pout on his face? Back in his bag. So it's just that, it's that consistency. You have to be consistent with what you say. You have to mean it. I don't know if that answers your question, but chances are they're getting what it is that they need. At least that's based on my observations at school and my own kids. Anybody else?
So little kids are more motivated by different things. Like my 6-year-old, I can think of a million fun things for her, but like the baby and the 3-year-old, like sometimes it can be so simple as a sticker.
Yeah.
Or what else?
So simple. Well, think of what kind of things that she loves. I know she loves coming to my office, but she loves coming to my office because she just likes to look around and do things. I'm like, hey, you know what? When I come back, if I see that you're still doing everything that you want to do, I'll take you back to the office and we can go read a story or we can go do something. She's like, okay, I can go to the office. That's something fun for her. She loves books. She loves books. Reading time, like how cool. Make it, like you can do things like little things like create, Dollar Tree, those little raffle tickets, like keep them in your purse. Like you can even, for someone as little as 3, like, hey, this is for you to trade to bring a book home next time you want to go home. And then she can give you her ticket when it's time to go home. Like, because it's so simple. Yeah, if that's what works for her, because I know, God, I love her so much. She loves those books on her way home. She wants to take one home. That's right. And so that's something that you would then use like, hey, want to well, wait a second. Did we do ... That if you struggle getting out of the door in the morning, have your ticket ready. Hey, you know what? If you get out the door this morning and you get everything ready to go and you're in the car, when we walk into school, I'm going to give you your ticket so that you can pick up the book when we leave today. And if she doesn't do it, she doesn't get the ticket. And she probably will be mad at the end of the day. But that's okay. Let her be mad. But then you talk, well, let's think about that. Why didn't we get the book today? What was the plan? Remember, we wanted to get out of the house today. We wanted to get into school, and these are, and keep it simple. It doesn't have to be like super, long, like I tend to, overly talk. But it could be super simple. I just want you to get up and be ready, get in the car, and get to school before my clock says this. And if we do that, you get your ticket. I can't wait to see that. Sure. Anybody else? What is that? What is it? It's a light. So cute. Sorry. Anybody else have any questions? And you guys, with Dayspring, you can always email me, kzammit@dayspringacademy.org. I mean, or call the front desk, whatever. Anytime you have any questions or about anything. I love to talk, just not so much like in front of everybody. That's all good. That's all right. All right. Well, thank you so much. Atlanta. Lamp plug. My back's. Sorry, I don't know the whole routine here. Now I'm in your way. Sorry.
No worries.
Sorry. I'm gonna walk head first into
Let's give another let's give another round of applause for Ms. Zammit.
Yay!
So awesome.